What is up, YouTube? Dottz Gaming here, and welcome to the first episode of the ESO Fireside Chat Podcast. For those of you who do not know, Fireside Chat is a segment in my stream where I sit by the fire in my guild house and I interact with the viewers. I don't really play. I just sit there and answer questions. It's usually anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes at the end of my stream, depending on the conversation that we have going on. But like I said, I just sit at the fire in my guild house and just talk to the viewers of my stream about various topics, whatever they want to talk about, whatever things that may have happened in the stream, whatever. It's just a time for me to interact with them without being, doing anything in game and being distracted by, PvE, dungeons, whatever's going on. So I got a suggestion a couple weeks ago that I should start a podcast. The person asked me a question about ESO. I helped them out, and then they said, have you ever thought about starting a podcast? I know I'd be very interested in listening to your thoughts and opinions on the game. They thought it would be a really good way to reach a very wide ESO audience. And they said that, you have a very, it was something you would be good at. Have you ever thought about it? And I never had. So I was like, no, but maybe that's something to think about. So I brought it up to a bunch of people and then brought it up on stream. And the general consensus was very, very positive. This is something that people wanted to see. This is a series people want on the channel. So, and I was really surprised by that. So I was like, all right, let's start this up. But it's going to be, raw, unedited, just me talking. I'm not going to clip anything out of this. I'm not going to clip out any of the uhs and ums. I'm just going to talk about whatever topic I have. And yeah, that's going to be the podcast. Just various topics. The first couple are going to probably be things that I have in mind, but then moving forward, I am going to take viewer suggestions. I'll probably down the line have other creators, veteran players, even some viewers, some like really prominent people in our community, have them on the show just, to have a banter, some back and forth, some differing opinions. But I know for the first couple, I'm probably going to keep it just me, just to, test the waters with this series. I think it's going to get very positive feedback, but of course, like with anything else, with any new series on a channel, I got to test it out to make sure it's going to perform the way I think and hope it's going to perform. Before I do get into the main topic, though, which is what I think ZeniMax needs to do in 2018 to really improve ESO and make it grow, I do want to thank Hayhurst for the $50 donation on Christmas. A little something in the spirit of Christmas, have a beer on me. Thank you so much, Hayhurst, for the donation. Just wanted to give you a quick shout out in a video because you did donate off stream. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. It is very, very much appreciated. But moving into what I think ZOS needs to do with ESO in 2018. I know it's a very loaded statement. I know a lot of you are probably like, there's a lot of shit that they need to do. But I got to say first that this is not me kissing ass. This is just my opinion. ESO, the infrastructure of ESO, like how the game is, the gearing system, the ability system, the build it, like how you build your character, the combat. ESO is a fantastic game, objectively, guys. If you've never really played another MMO, I don't think you realize how good ESO is in some regards. For those of you who know, I'm an ex-WoW player, played WoW for a very, very long time. I'm talking 8 or 9 years. And ESO is the only other MMORPG, and I've tried a lot, besides, RuneScape when I was a kid, and obviously held my attention. But ESO is the only other MMORPG ever since I started playing WoW, and I've tried a whole bunch of different ones since. ESO is the only MMO that has held my attention and that I've been able to play and really enjoy and get into. It's got a great universe behind it. It's got the Elder Scrolls universe behind it. And I think that there's so much customizability and flexibility in this game with the different classes, the fact that all the classes can fit into any role, the wide range of armor types, ability selections. There's infinite possibilities on your character, and really there aren't any two characters that are alike. Obviously, yeah, if you're playing a meta build, which that's going to be a topic for its own videos, meta and all that stuff. But if you're playing like a more, I'd say stereotypical, if you're playing a more stereotypical build, then yeah, you're going to be very similar to others. But for the normal player, for the average person, their character is their character, and they're very unique. It's not like WoW, where it was like, this is the gear path that you're going to follow. This is your tier set. You get that tier set, congratulations, that's your tier set. Your only customization comes from your talent trees. ESO has just so much customization, races, abilities, like I said, everything. You can customize the crap out of your character, and I think that is a very, very appealing thing to people who are looking for an MMO to play. Also, the PvP combat. If you take away the lag and all that stuff, of course, the PvP combat in Cyrodiil is very awesome. Who doesn't love big open world battles and castle sieges and all that stuff? Like, that's a huge selling point for a game where you can battle with an army against another army and take their castle. Like, it's a really cool selling point. Now, obviously, the implementation is part of what I'm going to be talking about today with what I think ESO needs to do to improve. But I'm just saying that in terms of the ideas that ESO has, the idea behind what ZeniMax is trying to do with the various things in ESO is good. The fact that one Tamriel made the game relevant to you. The whole game is relevant to you at every level. Now, I know I've seen some comments recently like, oh, that's dumb, oh, that's stupid, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, the games, I personally prefer this style of MMO over the theme park. Because the thing with the theme park is that once the MMO ages, once the MMO gets older, more expansions come out, more zones come out, right? More higher level zones for people as they level up. The old zones die. No one is there anymore because no one needs to be there anymore. No one needs to show up. There's no purpose. I don't think a lot of people realize how the scaling technology keeps the whole world of Tamriel alive. Again, this is its own topic, but I'm just saying. But the point that I'm trying to get at here is that the ideas and the infrastructure, in my opinion, behind Elder Scrolls Online is very good. Obviously, is it perfect? No game is. But I think it's awesome. But that aside, I gotta give ZeniMax props where it's due. But the part that they need to improve on, and I already know I'm gonna get immediate pushback the second it leaves my mouth. They need to improve their server technology, the lag, and the overall hardware that supports their game, or it will never grow. I'm sorry, it will never grow. It just won't. I'm just telling you right now, it will not grow. And I know the second I say this, I've said this on stream, the second I say this, everyone goes, Dottz Gaming. Upgrading their server tech doesn't make them any money. And I know if an employee of ZeniMax is watching this, they might be thinking the same thing, because I have heard that is what has been muttered, what has been said, that upgrading server tech, working on the back end, doesn't make them any money. And respectfully, you could not be any more wrong. Very respectfully, but you could not be any more wrong. You are looking very short term. You are not looking long term. You're not thinking like a business person. You are thinking get rich quick, make as much money as fast as I can. You are not thinking long term. You are not thinking investment. You are not thinking potential. If you just keep doing these short... All right, let me give you an example. Okay, let me give you an example. Let's just use the Battlegrounds launch from Morrowind. Let's just use that for example. The Battlegrounds launch, no offense, could not have possibly gone worse. Objectively, it could not have possibly been any worse. And you have a huge flux of new players. Let's just, coming into the game, right? Let's say all these people buy Morrowind, they're hyped about Morrowind, BGs sound really cool, they want to try them out. BGs and their implementation and how I think they should have been a separate topic. But infrastructure. You have a whole influx of people coming into the game. Like, yeah, Battlegrounds. I'm going to play some Battlegrounds. Only to realize I can't queue for Battlegrounds. And this problem didn't just last for launch day or launch week. Battlegrounds was screwed up for a while. And that has to do with the servers that ZeniMax has to support their stuff and the coding behind it. So you have all these people. I know you just saw a jump cut there. It's because I had to pause to collect my thoughts because I forgot where I was going with that. But you have all these people that try ESO and battleground queues don't work. And those people are going to get a bad taste in their mouths. Those people are going to be pissed. They're going to be like, I bought this game and it doesn't even work. Those people go, it's launch day. Shit always goes wrong on launch day. But those problems lasted a while. Those BG problems lasted a fair bit. Now, those players probably had a bad taste in their mouth. Now, people could go, Dottz Gaming, that's dumb. That's a bad example. It's a bad example. All right, let me give you a different example. When ESO had the dungeon event for the game, I believe they also had a free weekend during that event, if my memory serves me correctly. If they didn't, it doesn't take away from my point. The dungeon queues didn't work. How can you not have your dungeon queues work during a dungeon event? They worked for me, but I had so many players tell me they didn't work. How can you not have your dungeon queues work during a dungeon event? Right? Then let's look at Cyrodiil. Vivek Primetime. Oh my god. It's horrible. It is a lag-filled mess where you can't do anything. It's atrocious. And I've also heard, I'm not a big trials guy, I don't do a lot of trials, but I've heard that even in vet trials, there's still some lag problems. There's still some issues. If I get mail, if I want to buy something off the, doesn't this sound familiar? I bought this thing off the Guild Trader, but I got to travel to a new zone, or I have to log out and log back in to get my stuff. If you're a new player, you might not know that, and you might just buy something, and you're like, where's my stuff? Where are my things? Now, you're going, Dottz, these are all problems that we know about the game. This isn't anything groundbreaking. What's your point? My point is that these things will deter a new player from playing the game. If you buy something new, right? You buy something new, you're hyped about it, you're all excited, and it doesn't work. How happy are you gonna be? You're not going to be happy. You're going to be pissed off, especially, and then, the example is always, a chapter, right? You buy a new chapter of the game only to realize the dungeon queues don't work. I can't get my mail. I can't queue for PvP. When I do get into PvP, it lags like crazy. So what are you going to do? You going to play that game? No, I don't care how fun it is. You're not going to play that game as a new player. There are some, obviously all of us that are watching this that love ESO, we move past those problems when they occur. We realize that it's just part of it, and we move on and we keep going. But for someone who's new, their first impression is the game doesn't work. And that is horrible for business. And ZeniMax goes, it doesn't matter. They can go, it doesn't matter. We sold the chapter. We made money selling the chapter. We got the money. But you guys are looking so short-sighted. Those players, right? They're going to inevitably quit. The game doesn't work. They're going to quit, right? They're going to tell their friends, I played ESO. It doesn't work. And they're going to stop playing. Do you know, in business, customer retention is such an important statistic. If you watch, a TV show like Shark Tank, one of the things they always ask is cost of customer acquisition, and does that customer stay? Do you keep them as a recurring customer? Now, obviously, the cost of acquisition is, all the advertisements, hiring the streamers, paying people off to advertise the game, and then they buy the game, whatever. They shell out that one-time fee for Morrowind or whatever the next chapter is, and then that's it. They don't spend any more money because they play the game, realize that it won't work, and they quit. Those people, you lose. As the second that person quits, you lose the potential for them to buy your next DLC, you lose the potential for them to buy crowns, and you lose the potential for them to buy ESO Plus, and you lose the potential for them to recommend the game to their friends. So my argument is that investing in your background server tech and upgrading your servers will make you more money in the long run. Because if your servers work when your DLCs and your chapters come out, or if they, of course, maybe during launch day it's a bit rough, but then, soon after it recovers because you have good tech, those players are going to stay. The game is good. You guys have a good game, and you're squandering your game with your crap tech. I'm telling you, your game would be bigger if your tech was better. Because, yeah, think about it. Take a quarter, all right, and just go, we're going to put our efforts into engineering. We are going to work on our background tech. We're going to fix lag. We're going to work on mail problems and all this stuff. I guarantee you the second you make that announcement, old players are coming back. 100% guarantee. You're going to have people that love ESO but left because of these things. You will have them come back. 100% guarantee. 100% guarantee. Then those players come back. Those players see, wow, the game works. I'm not lagging. I can play. Because the way that I described ESO to someone, I thought it was a really good analogy, is like ESO is like driving a sports car in traffic. Right? The car's super nice, right? It's really comfy, it's really cool, it's got all this nice stuff about it, right? But you can't go anywhere because you're in traffic. Right? You have this great game with awesome mechanics and awesome systems in it, but you can't queue for a dungeon or PvP without lagging or get mail among things in the game, you know? Like that's what this game is right now, and sometimes is it's a Ferrari in traffic. And that's the problem. But like I said, you get those old players back because you made the announcement that you're working on tech. Guaranteed. Some of those players are going to buy ESO Plus because they're like, hey, I'm back in the game, I'm playing. I don't want to friggin' not have a craft bag. I'm going to get a craft bag. So they buy ESO Plus. Boom. You just made money. Granted, are you going to make as much money for that quarter as if you output a content DLC? Probably not. Return on investment. It's a basic business thing. Return on investment. Sacrifice quarter one to make quarters 2 through 5, quarters 2 through 4 better, right? Wouldn't it be awesome to have your server tech upgraded for next year's chapter? Do you have any idea how many players you're going to retain from that? Like, if World, and I'm going to keep using WoW because WoW is the gold standard for MMOs as far as I'm concerned in terms of its size, because it's an old game. Like, the game's been around for over a decade and the game is still number one. They upgraded their servers? They've upgraded their servers. Do you think they're still running on the same servers they were using back in 2002? No, they upgraded their server tech to support their game. Upgrade your server tech to support your game. Especially if you're going to keep using CP. I like CP. I know a lot of people don't, but I like it. It gives so much character customization. But you have all those calculations going on, and as you raise the CP cap, it's only going to get worse. Your servers are going to have to do more and more calculations, and it's going to get worse. Like, invest the money. It's going to work off in the long run. I promise you, you guys have a great game. If you invest the money, if you just put some time into engineering, and look, I'm an engineer. I'm a computer engineer too. I understand this stuff takes time. This stuff isn't easy. But just because it's hard and it's going to take time and it's going to require some money doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. I guarantee you, people will love you if you announce we are going to skip a content DLC for quarter 1 or quarter 2, wherever you decide to do this, and we are going to focus our efforts into server tech, into fixing lag, into fixing bugs, and just we're gonna make a big patch, a complete bug fix patch, and upgrade our server tech. I promise you, people will be more inclined to subscribe to ESO Plus. Old players will come back and sub to ESO Plus. You will have, I promise you will have more recurring players when you release a chapter or a DLC. More players are going to stay. They just will. If the game has to work, no matter how good the game is, no matter how cool it is, if it doesn't work, that's what people are going to remember. People aren't going to go, hey, I played this really cool game the other day and it didn't work. I couldn't play in PvP, but my character looked pretty cool. So, haha. No, they're going to go, I tried this game, it didn't freaking work. That's all they're going to say. That's all they're going to say. They're not going to talk about the good stuff. They're just going to go, I tried to play this game, it did not work. Son of a bitch. Like that's it. And it kind of baffles me that you like that you guys don't see this. Like, and I'm not trying to say this to be mean or to hate. I'm trying to just to show you, and I don't think there's an angle I'm missing. And I don't blame the developers. A lot of people just go, the developers. I guarantee there's at least a sect of the developers that understands this. This is not groundbreaking news, okay? There has to be someone there that understands this. I'm sure there's pressure from above to just push out crown crates and push out chapters and push out DLCs. But what you guys need to explain to those people is your customer retention is never going to be what it could be unless you grow your tech. If you want to, it's like having a company. If you want to, like you take on more work and you hire more people, right? That's how it goes. If you want to take on more players, you got to build bigger servers. You got to build better servers. You got to build faster servers. Your game lags with the population now. How do you think it's going to be if it grows? Right? You are capping its growth potential because at some point it's going to be so bad that people aren't going to be able to do anything. Like, look what happens during prime time or high pop events. Shit's breaking all over the place. Like, your game can't grow. Because it struggles during high population events. What's going to happen don't you want that high population to be your everyday population? Don't you want that high population to be the people who play your game every day? But they can't. Because the tech doesn't support it. And again, if you get those people playing, those people are going to buy crowns. Those people are going to buy ESO Plus. The craft bag's awesome. The people are going to buy it. They're not just going to play and not buy anything. They're gamers. They're going to buy stuff. They want to look cool and ride cool mounts. They will buy things. But it's like you got to keep them in. You got to keep them in. You got to keep them in the door. When you lose that player, you lose a potential for more money. You guys are undervaluing player retention so much that it's insane. And I say this not out of I don't say this from a place of like anger. I say this from a place of the fact that your game, I'm telling you, you guys have a good product. Objectively, this has become my favorite MMO. Obviously, I make content for it like crazy and I play it every day, like I love this game. But I just, it's like, I see the potential for the game. I see the potential that this game has. And it's not the game that is the reason that it's failing. I feel like a lot of times it's the game is the reason that the game fails. Or it's the business model is the reason that the game fails. And I'm not saying your game failed or is failing. It's obviously it's been successful and it is growing slowly over time. But if you want to see it grow further than it is, grow faster than it is, keep people playing, have a larger recurring everyday player base, you need to invest in your tech. You have to. You are basically capping yourselves with how big your game could get if you do not. And that's the thing I think you guys need to think about and consider. Because it's like I said, people aren't going to want to play a game that just doesn't work, regardless of how good it is. And I'm not saying that the game's perfect. There are plenty of players who have quit because of, imbalance, which, their MMOs are always not going to be balanced. It's just the nature of the beast. And maybe they don't like how this is or they don't like how that is, but you guys are improving your game every day. Transmutation, in my opinion, very, very fantastic system that has made the grinding process for gear and for things much easier, which is keeping people in the door as well. And I think that you guys are making positive strides, but you're ultimately held back by your tech. like I said, when when I go on the forums, don't get me wrong, of course you see people complaining about X class is OP and my class is so weak about every single class. It's just what you see. But a lot of the hate, not I guess the hate threads, but like the angry threads towards you guys, I feel like most of the time are about bugs and things not working. That's just ultimately what it is. Whenever I peruse the forums, that is what I see more than anything in terms of negative feedback towards you guys, is lag and bugs. And especially bugs that are reported and shown on video. If you guys took some time to invest in your engineering, you'd squash the bugs, you'd upgrade your tech, the lag would go away. You will keep people here. I'm telling you, you will keep people here. I have other things that I could talk about for ways to keep people in the door with fixing PV, working on Cyrodiil, how I think Cyrodiil needs to be changed, working on BGs, how I think BGs need to be changed. But that's, completely separate topic, completely separate video. This was just about what I think you guys need to do in general with the game to see it grow. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just something that I think you guys need to at some point realize that you're just very, very much limiting yourselves with what you can do by not upgrading your tech. I know it's probably nice to look at, if we put out this batch of crown crates, we're going to make a whole bunch of money. Blah, 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 blah. You're getting an influx of cash once a quarter, right? 4 times a year, you're getting a little influx of cash. Yippee. Why not get that for 1 quarter? It isn't even for every year. For 1 year. 1 year. Right? 1 quarter. 3 months. I have to imagine you guys can do it in 3 months. That's plenty of time. For 1 quarter. Sacrifice 1 quarter to work on your bugs and work on your tech and make literally every quarter afterwards better. Every single one. Just sacrifice 1. Return on investment. You will make so much more money. Isn't especially the guys upstairs, that's what you want. You want to make more money ultimately, right? Invest your money. That's why people invest. They spend money to make money. That's how business works. Invest your money in your servers and you will make it back more than you will making another batch of crown crates that has shit drop chance for mounts. I'm telling you. 1 quarter. Spend 1 quarter on your engineering. I guarantee you. I freaking guarantee your upcoming 3 quarters will be stronger because of it. They will. I can't sit here and logically imagine that if you have a game, 2 versions of ESO, one with the server problems fixed, one without the server problems fixed. They both release a chapter. Which one's going to have the higher player retention? Which one's going to have those players playing the game and spending the money and buying the crowns, etc., ESO plus, whatever? You tell me. It's obviously the one where the servers work. Whew! I got way more fired up about that than I expected, man. Damn. But, you know what? I've talked about this a lot on stream. I've talked about this with a couple people just in Discord in general. And the main excuse that I always get is that it doesn't make money. And it's not worth it. And I wanted to just abundantly show why that is wrong. And why that is short-sighted. And why you're not thinking for the long term with your game. And I believe that I did that. But, of course, like all things, I want to hear your feedback. Do you agree with me? Or do you think it's better that ESO just keeps spending money on crown crates and content DLCs and that the game, the current infrastructure is fine and that it doesn't need an upgrade? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Obviously, keep it civil. If you disagree with me, you don't have to attack me. Just leave your thoughts below. We'll talk about it. Everyone will have a conversation. Again, remember, guys, we are all players of the same game, just trying to have fun and have a good time. Be nice, keep it civil. And I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of the Dottz Gaming ESO Fireside Chat Podcast. It was a lot of fun to make. This was actually a very relaxing video to make. I just kind of got to talk and rant. It was a little cathartic in a way. I have to say, I really, really liked it. But yeah, I basically just took the argument that I used on my stream against a couple people that had said that and just kind of expanded it into a long rant. But I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Like I said, this was a lot of fun to make, and I definitely have ideas for future podcasts. But of course, like I said, we got to see how this one performs before I make another one. But I have a lot of confidence in this. So like I said, any comments, by all means, please leave them below. Excuse me. If you like this podcast, if you want to see more of the podcast series, I need you guys to hit the like button so that I know you're liking this podcast and what I'm doing here. And of course, if this is your first time seeing my channel and seeing me and hearing to me talk, and you like what I have going on and what's going on here at Dottz Gaming, please hit subscribe, as well as hit the little bell to keep post notifications on for not only my streams, but all of my other videos. So thank you all so much for watching. This was a pleasure to make. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day, everyone.